Okay, boys, so now with the exam coming up on Wednesday morning, we just want to have a quick review of things that we can do to help maximize your result. So, with your dot point annotation, with your annotations, keep it brief. Don't waffle on too much. So, dot points is a really good way of keeping to the point rather than writing great big swathes of narrative. We don't want pages and pages of writing. We want lots of images and sketches, don't we? So what do we need to do? Well, we need to make sure that there's some reference to the stimulus information somewhere in your annotation, that we show judgments about our critical strengths, that we show judgments about our critical limitations and the implications of those limitations. So what's critical? Critical is the significance of a particular attribute in relation to the design criteria. So if you're going to annotate and put something about a strength, then that strength has to relate to the design criteria. It's a strength because it nails the design criteria. And also, if it doesn't nail the design criteria, then it's a limitation. What stops it from being uh, the perfect idea for that design criteria? Okay, so show judgments about critical limitations. And also, what are the implications of those limitations? So, implications is, well, how does the limitation stop the idea from best addressing the design criteria? Or with the refinement, how does it improve the idea to better address the design criteria? So you've got to make sure that there's some reference to the implications of the limitations and implications of those refinements. You talk about implications of strengths as well, but we're going to make sure we do that, okay? And we make sure that we identify, okay, the critical features in the synthesized ideas and final proposal. That'll make sense a little bit further on when I flick through these pages, and okay, we'll make sure we work through that. So refinement, identify a limitation, improve on it on the next sketch. Like example, X.2. So, and this is all pretty much straightforward. Use the elements and principles of design to show progression of your ideas. Use a numbering system. Use arrows with your schematic sketches. Use the principles to differentiate between ideas. Use our numbering system. Create a legend. Um, okay, you can create a legend as well for your judgments in your annotation. And you can say, well, anything in green is a strength, anything in yellow is a limitation. It's entirely up to you how you want to go about doing that. Okay, now in that 15 minutes prior to the exam, this is where I would do my planning. So I think now that you've seen the visual stimulus, now that you've seen the three design criteria, you don't need to draw this up, but I'd be starting to sketch two possible design criteria one ideas. Okay, sketch them there, roughly sketch two ideas here, and think, okay, what's the best combination? Should I synthesize that and that to create this idea here? Should I synthesize this and that to create that idea, or vice versa, or move it around? And then you'll eventually come up with something. Look, these are just possible ideas. See, I'll put the word possible. So really, it's an exercise in warming up your brain. You're starting to think about how you're going to go about coming up with ideas, how you're going to synthesize ideas, and how you're going to put that together for a final proposal. Because that's what the exam is all about, and that's what you want it to deliver. So you really want to be spending your time here doing all your thinking and coming up with all your ideas for your design. In that way, when you actually start the 2 hour exam, you've already got your ideas semi-formed in your head. So really, it's all about your presentation and layout and your annotation to support your ideas. So it's like, well, why walk and chew gum at the same time during that 2 hour exam block? Why not do the walk in that 15-minute planning, okay? And then you can chew gum for the rest of the 2 hours. So that means you're going to be actually got more ideas already created, okay? So I don't have to think about creating ideas. I can actually focus on just executing the presentation and the layout of my ideas and how I go about that over those 2 hours. So if you can get that done. Now, this isn't going to, this will guarantee you, or should hopefully guarantee you, a pass, okay? So every time you come up with an idea, you need to annotate it and you need to write the word strength. Okay, dot dot. Now, if you don't write the word strength and you just write some annotation, you're going to have to highlight it in a certain color like green, and then somewhere up in the top right hand corner of your page or left hand corner of your page, you're going to have a legend that say that anything annotated in green is a strength. I'd stick with writing the word strength, and I'd put down your information there. The same with a limitation. So it's very important, okay, that these here relate to the design criteria. Why is it a strength, and why is it what feature or attribute of that idea there stops it from being the best possible idea? It must be something that could be improved upon, and you need to do that here, 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 and here. Come up with as many ideas as you possibly can. Okay, and then you need to number them 1.1. So that's idea 2, idea 3, idea 4, idea 5, idea 6. Okay, and they're all the first version of your ideas. That's why they're called point 1, point 1, point 1. So make sure you get your numbering system sorted out. Okay, so you've got multiple ideas from various points of view, and you've talked about the strengths, and you've talked about the limitations, and perhaps you've talked about the implications of those limitations, which is going to help you with your marks. Right, so what do we do with that after we've completed this mind map? We need to do a refinement synthesis. So now, I don't care which ideas you take any of those 2 ideas from page 1, and that might be idea 1, and that might be idea 4, but these ones here is version 2 of your idea. Okay, so this one here is one of your ideas from back here. Okay, we've taken another idea here, and then we've improved it. It's a slightly different sketch, so that one back there. And what makes it different? It's been improved. And what's the improvement? Well, the improvement is something that's been based on this limitation here. You've identified a weakness in your design, you've suggested an improvement, and if by making that improvement, then the implication now is that'll be a better product, okay, or fit that design criteria a lot better. Okay, and so you come up with synthesized idea 1 here. So in a lot of ways, this idea should have attributes that actually meet design criteria 1, meet design criteria 2, meet design criteria 3. Maybe they meet them all, maybe there are some limitations in that synthesis, so that's okay, you can annotate that as well. And then we've decided we're going to use the same strategy for page 3. So we're going to come up with 2 synthesized ideas. And then page 4, well, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, we're talking about taking those 2 ideas and then transforming them into a final design concept. Okay, and any annotation you're going to have here is you're going to describe how your final proposal best addresses all those 3 design criteria. Read the design criteria, deconstruct them. Okay, they're sometimes written in a way that you've really got to stop and think, what are they trying to say? So get a highlighter pen, deconstruct the meaning of it, so you know clearly what you're designing for. Okay, it has to meet those design criteria, and if you don't understand the design criteria to start with, then I don't know how you're going to go ahead and be able to complete this task. Okay, so this final concept, we'd like to think that it has attributes of your synthesized ideas, but it cannot be said to be one of those ideas, and that's what makes it innovative, that's what makes it transformational. And if you can put all that together, then you'll be going really well. Okay, so make sure you've got a black pen, make sure you've got some, if not Copic markers, you've got some type of colouring in pencils, or you've got highlighter pens or something, okay, to help showcase your ideas. And it's all pretty straightforward. Look, if you've watched this video and you've got any questions, Mr. Turi and I'll be there to wish you the best of luck on Wednesday morning, and we'll send you on your way. And but if you've got any questions, make sure you get in contact with me before the exam on Wednesday morning, and best of luck.